Hail, bird of prey. 5. Hail, Karuga.
Qapla!
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's going to be under one roof. You're going to run it like a business. And that means you're going to make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before, or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Birdo Prey 5 channel. Hail Karuga.
Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to Star Trek Enterprise Wednesday for June 14th, 2023, aka Flag Day. Today we'll be watching Enterprise Season 2, Episode 11, Precious Cargo, which aired originally December 11th, 2002. And yes, this is widely considered one of the poorer episodes of Enterprise. Welcome to the panel, Admiral T. Qapla.
Qapla, thank you so much for allowing me to join you. This is my 3rd favorite Star Trek show.
Your 3rd favorite Star Trek episode? Or your 3rd favorite
No, my
series?
3rd favorite Star Trek series.
Gotcha.
No, this episode, if I remember right, is only kind of okay. I don't remember really.
Yeah, it's not widely remembered well.
Well, you had it right last week when you said the dust had affected my brain. So any help you can give me understanding this will be absolutely appreciated. I'm just so glad to be able to hang out and be able to watch it with you. Thank you for letting me be part of this.
You are very welcome. Yeah, this unfortunately is not one of the better episodes, but it's one. Most of the criticisms is that what we've seen here has been done before in Trek. So I don't know that's necessarily bad. It's just it's not new. And although you haven't seen every episode, so
I haven't seen every episode of Deep Space Nine,
Right.
And I still have I just got up to where they ran into 7, but I mean I have intermittent knowledge all through of both shows. I just
Right.
after
Well,
getting
I would say this borrows a lot from TNG.
which TNG
probably.
episode?
I forget the title, but the one where the woman was I think it's called The Perfect Mate. She's in like an egg, and she has to but impress upon a guy quickly. She's supposed to be taken to marry somebody.
So it's
She's
got a
being
little bit
given
of
away.
Elaine of Troyes in there too. Oh, if I even said that right. See, it seems like there's a lot going on in this one.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see as it goes. John Araki was first in the chat. Welcome, John Araki. Tiki of Doom says it's been a long road. Welcome, Tiki. 54.5. Axis Radio says precious cargo, like a load of fresh orphans. Not that precious. Captain Fandom Nerd says hello, Captain. LDG at hashtag free the net. Waves, welcome LDG. Richie Poole says, hey, is this the one where Trip gets it on with a spoiled princess on a jungle planet? It might be, Richie. It might be. And Richie Poole throws in some alpacas.
Well, I just want to thank you. This will be my last pleasant Star Trek until I have to dive into the world of SNW for 10 episodes to transform that. So thank you.
Yes.
This will be better than what I'm going to watch later.
It will be. I'm pretty confident that this will beat out Strange New Worlds, which will be premiering late tonight, the overnight hours.
Does Paramount drop at 3 or midnight? I don't even know.
For us in
for
New
us.
York, 3. Usually it's supposed to be 3 a.m. In practice, it usually gets up about 2 a.m.
Maybe we should be clear. We're not from New York. We're from Queens. Don't mess with me and Bob 5.
Did you get hail today?
No, I just got back from Philadelphia, which makes Queens look like the French Riviera.
Yes.
I never appreciated the fact that they sometimes take away the garbage in New York more.
Earlier today, I was on the Queens Reddit too. I got some hailstorms came through. Bayside got hit. Long Island City and Bayside.
I'm pretty close to Long Island City. I'm in Western Queens.
Oh. Yeah, well, I'm on eastern side of Queens.
Well, I grew up in the town next to Belmont Park.
I
went to Zephram Cochran High School, though.
Nice. Hopefully they had the statue.
Yeah. And also I went to college on Rigel, where they have an amazing statue of Commodore Decker from the episode Doomsday Machine, because of course he's the one who saved everyone there.
Awesome. Richie Poole says, have a great stream, guys. Have to get back to work. And
Bummer.
Siege,
hopefully you can lurk while you work.
Admiral, I don't know if you're aware. We have this policy, but first-time guests are required to sing the theme song.
Really?
Yes.
I will sing it, but tell me how you want this done. You want me to just sing it to you right now, or do you want me to sing it when the episode starts?
When the episode starts and the
so
theme
I
song
will
begins.
try.
Just sing along to it. Best you can.
I really like the song, and I hope the chat enjoys my rendition.
No, I'm sure they will.
I think it's a funny rule too. I enjoy that. It's good policy. Hey, it's my pal,
Captain Fandom Nerd. Captain, you there?
Good afternoon.
There we go. Good afternoon.
We've been through death and life and Picard together.
I'd rather go through death.
You ready for bisexual Kirk in 7 hours?
Oh God!
Oh, I wish it was just something I made up. They're promising it to us, at least in some publicity.
Oh Lord!
I know. Buy me a Mercedes Benz.
Richie Poole says to ban Kronos. Kronos says, "Give me some money in gold." And there you are, Admiral Teague, saying hail to Kronos.
Kronos is a great guy. I love when I get to see Kronos around. He's a sign of a high-quality live stream.
Another New Yorker, too. Not the city,
I didn't know that.
The state.
Okay, well,
in
we love
Binghamton area.
Everyone in the Excelsior State is a friend of mine, and of course, we all know each other. And what one New Yorker knows, every New Yorker knows. So we're all as smart as the smartest person who ever lived here.
Richie Poole says Bird is not a channel member, so he shouldn't be allowed to attend members only streams. Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I never subscribed to myself either.
Yvette says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to lovely Yvette. Sorry, Admiral, just
no problem.
Going through some chats here before we start. Carlo says, hey, hope everyone is as well as can be. Qapla, Carlo. And it says, hail Karoga, and put up the Karogan flag, which you should do because it is Flag Day. So Karogans could fly the Karogan flag today and the U.S. flag if you're in the United States. Carlos says the tip counts. The tip always counts. Chrono says, is Yvette a quantum here and there at the same time? You'd have to ask her. That's a good question. Dan Van says, this episode of Enterprise isn't the best. No, that's a fair statement, Dan Van. I put the link to the screening room. So, Admiral, I don't know if you know, but have you been to the streams here, to the screening?
I've watched it a few times.
Okay, good. So you know the screening room at birdofprey5.com/SR is where you watch today's episode. If you're watching live, and for anybody who comes and watches later, they'll have to get their own copy of the episode, either hard physical media or stream it from a site, preferably not Paramount Plus.
And nothing has started yet, right?
No, nothing has started yet. It'll start in a couple minutes.
I have Paramount Plus, and some of their shows that aren't Star Trek aren't bad, but the way, if you have commercial tier, Yellowstone family of shows have been enjoyable. But honestly, when I watch Star Trek, they didn't even curate it well, and AI put the commercials in, so we get a native commercial break. And then the commercial starts in mid-sentence and ends, or the commercial, so as we slowly drift off the 7-minute per act thing as the episode goes on. So by the end of the episode, the commercial, you get a random one just right in the middle of the scene.
That is, I got the commercial free, but it was mostly because I gotten so used to watching DS9 and TNG on Netflix that when they left, I was like, well, I need a way to watch it because I can't get up and put a DVD in.
Well, just physically. I'm sorry to hear that, Bird, but just to affirm about the brain damage, I went with commercial tier, and I did it so I could watch the New York Jets. So we all know that I'm mentally compromised.
Yeah, okay. But what annoys me is that, on TOS and TNG, DS9, Voyager, and even Enterprise, you get to watch one episode and it stops. Whereas when the new Trek, you put on, Picard or even, God forbid, Discovery, you watch an episode and it automatically then goes to the next episode in the season.
And it can sense when you change browsers and it stops too. You can't listen to it while you do something else if you have certain tier.
Okay, I'm just talking about on my TV, on my Roku or my Amazon Fire.
See, when I pause it, I don't know what happens when you pause, but when I pause, I get 90% of the screen becomes an ad for another Paramount show.
Yeah. They don't want you to see screenshots. They want you to pause and see what's going on and study the scene.
No, they really don't.
They became really dicks about it.
It's very poorly curated is the only way to put it. It wasn't lovingly done. It makes you wonder, what they just here's 7 seasons of Deep Space Nine. Throw the commercial breaks in at every 7 minutes and just put them up there and never check them again. And this could be, one of the big gets to make people want to buy your streaming service that's in trouble is that you have Star Trek, but you can't even be bothered to curate it right. This is years later now.
I've told them in multiple surveys I've gotten that, the biggest reason I have them is to watch reruns of DS9 and TNG and Voyager. and
Yeah,
TOS.
We're like miles apart on our DS9 opinion, aren't we?
Probably, but it's still. I'm here to watch good Star Trek.
I will call Deep Space Nine good Star Trek. I'm just not always for me is the worst thing I'll say about it. It's good Star Trek. Sometimes it is too dark for me, but I don't like my Star Trek quite that dark.
Fair enough. I would argue that episodes like Trials and Tribulations, Little Green Men, Take Me Out to the Holosuite, that there's so many examples of
you just
DS9's
named 3
not
episodes.
dark.
You just named 3 episodes I've seen and enjoyed, but I mean, what about the episode where Keiko is a Federation supremacist who can't be allowed around children? I mean, there's some stuff going on that show sometimes.
The season 1 episode.
She's trying to be a teacher, and they have to take her like either out of the job or retrain her because she was a Federation supremacist. And
right, she wanted to teach that they were wormhole aliens and not prophets.
Yeah, she scoffed at. She might have been correct in her outlook, but and the episode seems to be on her side. But if you really think about it, there's some problems with her taking into her own hands what these people should know and learn. And on our planet, in our time, we have school boards, and that to me is like a Star Trek strike when your technology or your level of civility in the future society is below ours. And that's a major issue I have with New Trek.
Is that I did think it was weird that Keiko gets to make the curriculum with seemingly nobody to appeal it to, no oversight.
Yeah,
and she wasn't even a teacher.
She's a nurse.
Her background was a botanist.
That's right. She was the botanist. I knew she was like a sciencey person. It's not nurse. I
just figured I got nothing else to do, so I could teach the kids. And then she makes.
The show wants us to get behind her in this selfless decision to be a teacher, and it looks like she's doing the right thing. And like at the end, we're just left to wonder. The show isn't like Keiko crossed the line. Like it's just I don't know if they even really resolve it. It's just like the next episode, Keiko's no longer a teacher.
Yeah. Well, I think at some point the kids stop coming because the station gets evacuated.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were going to say because she got so political.
No, the station gets evacuated at some point, and the population drops. And she's like, "I closed the school." Miles is like, "Oh, what about school?" She's like, "I closed the school. It was only Jake and Nog." She's like, she said that she would just tutor them. They don't need a classroom for that anymore.
And Nog, of course, joins the Federation. I wonder whose influence that was.
Well, Nog's arc is a great one. So
I do enjoy it. I think
that
the child actors may be the better actors may have the better stories in Deep Space Nine.
Okay, well, don't go saying that out loud anywhere else, because the actor who played Nog was not a child. He was an adult. He had a disease that made him appear childish, but he was in his 30s.
Well, see, that's why I always tell people that you are a much smarter and better Star Trek intellect.
His name was Aaron Eisenberg, and unfortunately, he passed away.
I was aware that he passed away recently, and that he seemed to be only about 50, right?
Yeah, Sirach Lofton, who played Jake, he really was a kid.
Right.
And the first time he met Nog out of makeup, he had no idea that this adult male was the so-called kid he thought he knew on set.
Well, I feel vindicated then.
Yeah. And he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "It's me, Nog." And he didn't get it. And he explained on his podcast.
I think Sirach Lofton does some fantastic acting for a child actor from the right out of the gate. He's a strong performer in the pilot episode of Deep Space Nine. Sirach Lofton can really act. And he's a gifted child actor.
Definitely solid, and he gives a lot of that credit to Avery Brooks helping him and teaching him along the way. So, yeah. Hopefully we see him back at some point when we have good Trek again.
When we fix the transporter, so to speak, because everybody we beam from old Trek to new Trek sort of ends up like Commander Somak. The show that we got didn't live long. Fortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
That long pause between
that was
fortunately
one of that's the one line from the motion picture I remember above all else.
It's really gruesome. And do you think that the screams that we hear there are the same screams we hear when we blast the Sete eels in the Genesis cave? Because it sounds pretty close. I think they may have reused it, but that got your attention in Star Trek: The Motion Picture, didn't it?
It did. LDG says, howdy guys. Kronos is Pride Month for America.
Right.
Listen, I got nothing against Pride Month, but we're taking a break today for Flag Day.
That's right. It was around first.
Yeah. Yeah, the Stars and Stripes flag was here first.
That's right. And maybe first used in New York State, right? Isn't the Battle of Benetton, New York, the first appearance of the Betsy Ross style flag in any way, shape, or form?
I like it. I'll go with that. I've never heard that.
I'm a New York supremacist. How about you?
Sounds real. It sounds.
I feel the way about New York the way Keiko feels about the Federation.
LDG says Trip gets laid twice in this episode.
Go Trip.
But let's go ahead and get ready because I have physical therapy after this today. So I'm going to go ahead and start the stream. Kronos says he knows okay, yes, Kronos. AOC, I know she's not the greatest.
At least she's not my congressperson anymore. She was redistricted away.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, she was never my Congress.
She was such a mixed bag of worse and worse.
In college, she was quite attractive.
She's a very attractive woman. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
There's no denying
for
that.
A congressperson, she's definitely in the top 10%.
She's only about 4'10".
That's really 4'10".
I've shook her hand. I walked down the street and she was like doing a get out the vote thing, and she just walked up. She's like, "Hi, I'm your representative to Congress." And I was like, "Oh, hi." And I'm like looking down, and this diminutive little person.
Really?
And
because Mamo Prey is only 4'10".
AOC might need to be in heels to get to that height. AOC is beyond petite. She is Ewokian in size.
But I had no idea. They always seem to show her, I guess, taller.
When you see her without any context, you can't tell that she's a very petite woman. And whatever else people want to say about her, and I do not endorse or deny any politics on YouTube. I just don't. And if you need me to tell you to vote for, you really do have problems, because I'm just a Star Trek reviewer of questionable ability. I'll give her this. She has a photographic memory, because like the third time I met her, she's like, "You're that guy Teague, right?"
Wow.
She's like, "Well, I met you before. You're Teague," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Put in a good word for Kuroga next time you meet her.
You talking about Kuroga upstate, like by Saratoga Springs? Is that what
there is Zach Kuroga? Yes, that is where Kuroga was born. But Kuroga now is basically a 50 miles around me in every direction. So,
well, then I live within Kuroga.
you're in the greater Kuroga metropolitan area. Yeah.
Well, my starship orbits 300 miles above an asynchronous orbit above the point where the crew beams down to get pizza and pick up Amazon. We have a small apartment there just for that.
That's good.
Sometimes I want a good non-reconstituted pizza, and I want that pizza to be from Queens. You know what I mean.
You see, here's the problem. I was born in, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I still
Nobody's perfect. I mean, come on. So did my father.
The best pizzas in Brooklyn.
The best pizza actually might be Nassau County. I hate to say it.
That's just crazy talk.
Have you been to Umberto's or Ciro's? Down way down Jericho Turnpike into New Hyde Park is a place called Umberto. It's either Umberto's or Ciro's.
Decades ago.
That is the best pizza I've had in my life. But as far as if you want to say the most reliably good pizza from most places where you'll get shamed out of business if your pizza isn't good, we're talking Queens and Brooklyn. We're inside the pizza habitability belt. That's what's important.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? We could and if you open a Domino's here, you'll go out of business. But if you open your own pizza place, people will work with you by yelling at you about what you're getting wrong until it's perfect.
Fair enough.
Am I right? I mean,
that's pretty
more or less how we negotiate things in Queens.
Sean DeMarco says, greetings all. Cinnabon says AOC's teeth account for 50% of her height.
She does have large teeth.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Pop Culture Curator says, hello, guys. Hello, Pop Culture Curator. Hope you are doing well. Guys, Pop Culture Curator, they're close, but they're still a bit away from their goal. Please, if you can, I'll put in the link. Yesterday, Jedi Bill streamed.
I have just, I have also contributed. It's a worthy cause. Please go ahead and help them out.
Yeah, I just wanted to put in the link. I wanted to delete the nonsense at the end of the link. To help out Pop Culture Curator, they need a bit more to get him out of California and to Arizona. Josh, he says, if you're in the greater Kurogan, you need to run before Bird of Prey 5 sends you to work in the Kurogan mines. Only if you're an orphan. Only if you're an orphan.
How do they know that I don't ride you on my back to work every day? I could, for all they know, I could be in front of Bird of Prey's apartment, with a saddle on my back, ready to take him wherever he wants to go, like a tauntaun.
Yeehaw.
Captain, thank you for the validation on that one. Oh, we're good. We're trying to get into good cheer, Bird, because Cap and I have a lot of strange new worlds ahead of us that we're going to have to deal with.
Yes, we do.
Captain, do you like my prediction that a female Kirk Picard hybrid will be sent back from time as the villain? And in the final episode, the Discovery will rescue everyone?
I'm worried you may be.
I think I have something. I have. They can't handle having Picard and Kirk's DNA out there, stolen, unaccounted for, on their hands with that amount of low talent writing. But we have 23 executive producers.
John DeMarco says, save your energy, save yourselves, avoid strange new worlds at all costs.
I watch it so other people don't have to. You can watch it on Saving Star Trek and Admiral Teague.
Okay, it is time to get started here. So I'm headed to the screening room. We will count down. And like I said, this might not be the strongest episode, so feel free to talk over it if you have something more interesting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You got a couple minutes before you have to sing.
Oh, great. The viewing.
the harmonica play. Start off the episode. And Pop Culture Curator is having brain surgery tomorrow. So our prayers are with you, Pop.
Best of luck.
Absolutely.
Been alone. Getting from there to here. It's been a long time, but my time is finally near. And I can feel the last, and I will touch the sky. And they're not gonna hold me down no more. No, they're not gonna change my mind. 'Cause I got faith for the Lord. You know I will take me. I got faith to believe. I can do everything. I got strength for the soul. No one's gonna bend or break me. I can reach and strong. I got faith. I got faith. In the heart.
Well done.
How's that?
That was excellent. A plus.
I told you I love the song.
And Kronos is quite happy. Bravo with life support.
I've watched too much news. It sounded to me like he said racist of you to help us. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Bear. All right, I remember this one. If this was New Trek, they would just tell them they were fucked and leave.
Yeah. And they're like, well, wake her up and then we can kill one of you guys.
We'll take the women with us. The rest of you can take 20 more weeks to get back to your pigsty planet.
That will make her a captain.
You know, say what you will about this episode. These guys aren't unreal. I would want the same thing. Right? They've been in space like no less than 20 weeks because it's 5 months to get back where they started from.
I'm just concerned how they knew Enterprise had bathtubs. Or at least showers.
Or they have a sonic shower too. But if Aaliyah is any gauge of what happens, you get wet in the sonic shower.
And
although I suppose she could have been sweating.
Wonders of how sonic showers work. The best left up to imaginations.
You know what? I'm one of the only people on my ship who I scald myself in the sonic shower every morning because I'm not smart enough to get the hot cold mix right. I forget from the day before.
You should have your engineer chisel a H and C into the valve.
That might help. Perhaps if my yeoman helped me out in the shower. Isn't it cool how all women in space are kind of all right looking?
Well,
I
I mean, there's Moogie. Oh, that's a
yeah,
DS9 thing.
and Mother Superior Ratchet on Deep Space Nine from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She's pretty ungood looking by the time we get to that point. What a flex. Dracula's hair bird, real?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Dracula's hair, real?
Oh, the hair.
Is it real?
I doubt it.
I mean, I just don't. It's so perfect.
Yeah, maybe.
The Caesar haircut that he comes back with for the next season really makes me wonder. Now you got to ask yourself why they want to spend 19 more weeks than they need to doing this.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, we know the plot reason why, but the realistic reason is, listen, they're getting paid to do something that takes a certain amount of time. If you disrupt that, people start asking questions. You might not have a job anymore.
True, although there's no prime directive yet. So isn't the Enterprise looking to say hi to everyone to the point
Yeah,
of being
I mean,
naive?
the Enterprise can do it. I'm just saying that the aliens have every reason to not want the Enterprise delivering their cargo for them.
Yeah, we know a lot more than they do about why it won't be a problem. So you're right.
Barely hit them.
Can I get this to go, Captain Archer?
You would think they would have gone at the first sign of trouble, since Tucker was there.
Yeah.
You know, I just like their set. I like the look of this Enterprise, despite any perceived anachronisms by the fans. People who have problems with it are right, but I like it.
John Araki with a 99-cent super sticker is nodding off as sleepy. John Araki, I'm sorry. This is not the most exciting episode. I do hope you get some rest, though, if you're actually tired. Listen, action.
action and adventure meet on the final frontier.
And Admiral Teague, thank you so much for a $2. Is that Superman with a pigeon?
I don't know. It's my favorite super sticker, though. You're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to watch good Star Trek before I dive into the filth, as it's called. Someone has to account for what's going on with these franchises.
John Araki says #ban Kronos. You want me to ban Kronos, John?
Kronos is great. I love Kronos. Sorry.
I tried to ban him, but it says he's a moderator.
I know. You typically don't go from wrench to banned. Anyone mind if I take this time out to point out that I think Hoshi's really good looking?
I think most people would agree, except Cinnabon.
There's a lot of this is the best. This is like a very attractive crew, and
yeah, Cinnabon, who happens to be Asian, thinks that the Asian woman is attractive.
Damn it, Mayweather, you're just no Chekhov. Chekhov pulls that off every time, right, Bird?
He does have
Oh, jeez. Oh, this is a little bit reminding me of the Pack Lads. She wants to be strong. So she didn't want him to get hurt before, but now she's beating him around with this crowbar.
Maybe she wants to be hit. Maybe she's just kinky.
One can hope. In that case, I guess Trip's about to save himself a whole lot of money. He doesn't have to fly to Europe for this kind of stuff to be legal. I'm sorry, Trip, but you're supposed to be a little bit like, why are you holding a gun on me? Why does he think he can hold this guy hostage on his own ship?
That's. I guess he figures he's not near Enterprise.
I think we could have done that whole scene without him holding a gun on Trip, though, right? I mean, not that I care about that, but I mean, just the amount of aggression, and it's weird.
It's a lot of aggression then to just leave him be.
Yeah.
In what, your engine bay or you're an unrestrained engineer able to do God knows what to your ship. Now he doesn't want to be there.
Is the term tonally inconsistent, right? Oh, that's right. This is before they simply understood everyone.
John Araki says #unban Kronos, but only if he says he's sorry.
Did he take the wrong side in the debate between Hoshi and the Bajoran prophets and the people on Deep Space Nine? Because, I mean, maybe she was wrong to teach Federation supremacy.
I'm not sure.
Divisive topic, but, I used to be a Federation supremacist until I saw what the new Trek Federation's like.
John Araki is asking if anybody on the panel is chronosexual, LGBTQK.
I'm a
K?
Chronosapien?
For chronosexual.
I'm a Chronosapien. How's that? Well, her delivery is just like DePaul's.
Well, not Earth.
Yeah.
Why would a freighter have a shuttle bay? Just say please, lady. There's gentlemen. It's not gross to love you, Kronos.
This is reminding me of Elaine of Troyes a lot.
Have to double check that reference.
From
It's
the
not.
original series.
Yeah, I'm not. It's not fresh in my mind.
The tears can intoxicate a man, and she's sort of being forced into an arranged marriage.
Ah,
Yeah, I subspaced you the wiki link if you care.
thank you.
Of course. The picture will probably be enough. It is Padma Lakshmi. I didn't want to say it until I looked, but this is Padma Lakshmi. She's like one of the biggest Bollywood actresses, and she was a model at the time, and still kind of is. She was on one of the first reality contest shows. That's why she was on Star Trek. I think it was on the same network. Yep. She's an original Top Chef host. Didn't that start on this network?
I don't know, but yeah, I never really watched Top Chef.
I just remember it because I see the Subway ads for every show, right? Yeah, I like this choice. Episode just got a little better. I just want to agree with Kronos' sentiment about Padma Lakshmi. Lakshmi? They better have some bottled Druidian air if they're going to go to a bunch of planets where they don't know they can land. Jacko Shacky, I agree.
Kronos, the old spam is hidden until I can get up and find it myself.
They really
And
should have
then,
made her a Vulcan, huh?
yeah.
Her delivery. Oh,
Dan Ben says, do you think the escape pod looks like a garbage can?
a little. Wow. He told her that she was being annoying.
See, the spots she has was the same as they were in TNG, The Perfect Mate, but they were like co-opted for the trill in DS9.
I feel more of the TOS Elaine of Troyes episode than anything else so far, but I'll have to think on that a little more.
Well, as just a matter of fact, the planet she mentions being from is the same planet from the TNG Perfect Mate. So that's why she's the same species. Clearly, it's just weird that prior to this episode, the only time we had seen those spots was that one episode of TNG, and then later slightly altered spots for Jadzia on DS9.
Perfect Mate has Jane Grey from X-Men.
Kronos says Mama Prey is evil. She doesn't want me to eat. What?
Huh?
What are you talking about, Kronos? Are you on something, Kronos? John DeMarco says this princess is no empathetic metamorph, that's for sure.
No, but she does have like those chill-like markings, like the people from the episode Perfect Mate. You're right.
Well, what they say, only like 1 in 1,000 generations or something is born with the ability to impress upon a mate.
Right. That's what's going on here.
Oh, Kronos is saying Mama Prey is evil because she won't give me the old spam.
Where does he get a rest from?
Wow. Oh, good cop, bad cop.
That was supposed to be the good cop. This is reminding me a little bit of a piece of the action when Spock and Kirk try to play off each other, and Spock's a little bit behind on the lingo of the planet.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have a little mock trial to convince this guy that he's in trouble and they really have no authority over him. Good thing they use our measuring system. You know what? It's covering one thing. Star Trek is supposed to be entertaining.
Dan Ben says in 2013, Brannon Braga stated that he considered this to be one of the worst Star Trek episodes ever.
Oh, no.
Well,
it was correct at the time.
That's true.
Well, at the time.
That is true.
Now, this is Shakespeare. I would go see this performed in a small dinner theater with a full orchestra. Captain and I have had this conversation before.
It's idiot proof.
That's what I tell all the girls too.
I don't know if I trust her or not.
She's pretty, so she can't be evil.
That's how it works in movies.
No one this beautiful could be without any redeeming characteristics.
It's a big car.
John DeMarco says New Trek is the best thing to ever happen to Enterprise.
I enjoyed it the first time through, but I mean, yeah, but at what cost? It's like saying the Battle of the Bulge is the best thing that ever happened to the morale of the American Army in World War II. While true, see, now we're doing a lane of choice again. You seem pretty frigid. You seem like you should go work.
Yes, Dan Ben, that's definitely a trash can in space.
I don't feel like she's reading off of cue cards.
Dan Ben says, when in the escape pod, Tucker says that its planetary system is 90 million kilometers away. That basically means they're already well inside the system.
Evocative of E.T. Oh, look, it's the planet from Threshold. From Check around for the
Don't
triplets.
step on any salamanders.
Look out for the triplets left behind by Janeway in Paris, everybody. Pure anti-proton, not even once, people. Stay away from it. I think that the next best thing for this episode is she needs to get that outfit a little wet, don't you?
They'll find a way.
I think that Star Trek will find a way to get that shirt wet. Oh, Florida man, you've crashed the car.
47 Yorktown, hello. Hello, young sir.
That was delivered like she really believed it.
John Araki says, I bet a kid with a tricorder could see what's underneath every girl's clothes. Well, I guess they don't let kids play with tricorders. Yeah, maybe you can get eaten by a fucking alligator. ROUSs. Be on the lookout.
He's just a rustic, overconfident Florida man in his element in the swamp. I don't get why Trip isn't concerned. Wow. You told her. I think she wants him to kiss her.
And definitely.
No, she got wet, didn't she? All right. Yes.
There
Thank
it
you,
is.
Star Trek. Thank you, Star Trek.
You better take your clothes off to let them dry.
I told you she wanted to kiss him. What did I tell you? At this
And he
point, I
wants
go
to kiss
destroy
her
my.
too.
Oh, at this point, I go say, like, give me a minute, and I destroy the emergency beacon. I'm like, I could live the rest of my life with this hot chick.
I'll make a house and we'll live next to the swamp.
Zephram Cochran had a little better, but this is just good enough for me. I'm from Florida. I'm used to this kind of environment.
We're going to populate this planet.
Florida, what we're going to call it Florida 1 or Florida 2 because we already have one. They're in like Lake Osceola or something now. What's wrong is you're still wearing too many clothes.
John Araki says, Phlox is mostly handing out Plan B pills. I think they just mix it in with the food.
That's right. I don't know if I would have destroyed the homing beacon on first instinct. I mean, shouldn't they have had a little talk about whether it was a good idea?
Why would you destroy that? It's exactly what you needed.
And they do what you would do if you had left it intact anyway, waited for the person to show up and kind of ruse them. And, he used her as bait. That's way to go, Trip. Very brave. Ooh.
Dan Ben says, IMDb said, this episode was similar to the Orville. Nothing left on Earth excepting fishes. Awkward couple crash landing in a swamp. I don't know about that.
I don't either.
You can make all the moist jokes you want, Kronos. And John DeMarco says, good thing that Branch was more dangerous than getting punched several times in the face.
I may have had someone else dub her dialogue at this point. It's so flat and bad. She can't deliver a line. going to shake things up. Yeah. I think she got those two things out of order, right?
Come visit me. Perhaps you'll find out.
The first two parts.
Oh.
I believe
That
that's
was
what she's inviting him to do when he gets there.
That was a fairly quick resolution.
You know what? It was fun. That's still fun Star Trek. It's not.
Yeah, it's not hardcore, cerebral sci-fi, but
no,
it's not that bad, to be honest.
What we got here was a very fun, kind of upbeat, just another one-off, right? Well, last week was a dream. This week is one person kind of goes down the rabbit hole alone. If anything, I just say Padma Lakshmi looks fantastic, but I mean, wow, is her acting ever lacking in this episode?
Rono says this is horrible Enterprise. Dan Van says the alien ship at the end was a reused model from Star Trek Voyager. Kronos, wow, 1 out of 10. Kronos, 1 out of 10.
Now, there's a real Trek scale and a new Trek scale. This is an 11 for a new Trek. You know what? Next week they're going to go to another planet. We're going to forget all about this, and we're going to have fun. It'll be fine. Very little damage was done by this episode. We didn't harm anything. We didn't go back in time. We didn't go and destroy someone's legacy. We didn't undermine Kirk. We didn't change Trek lore. I mean, my standards of what makes good Star Trek have been affected by how bad the bad Star Trek I've seen has been. If you could see what I've seen through your eyes.
Just as a heads up, because we were talking about it in the private chat, the slideshow isn't created by SciTube.
Did you make that?
It's but Life with Matthew,
right?
Who's another channel, a YouTuber who hangs around from time to time. He's got his own channel. He put up a video way back. He created a utility that makes these slideshows. So if you have an MP4 file, it'll convert it to a video slideshow, and you can set how many seconds apart you want the frames. So if I do every 10 seconds, but you could do it every 5 seconds, every 20 seconds, every minute. 10 seconds seems to work out well.
I was going to say, you doing it very well in a way to keep us oriented. So I guess at this point we have to try to say what it is we saw, what we felt about it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
no harm was done, and we went to a new planet next week where things were probably more fun, right? Isn't that basically the bottom line of this episodic Star Trek? Fixes a lot of the ills right here. There's no hangover. We don't have to spend 10 hours wondering about this story. It's over.
I agree. There was no mystery box.
Gosh. There was a little bit of a mystery box. We had a popsicle woman, but we pay it off fairly quickly and then validate all the reasons she was like that. So it wasn't a mystery box, but there was a box with a mystery inside of it, but it was simple cause and effect. No, I mean, she's in a capsule, which is almost like she's within a container, and she herself is the mystery. But the rest of the episode, she pays it off. Like, this is not a traditional mystery box. There's an element of uncertainty about what's going on, and an element of deception being played upon our heroes here by these underhanded aliens who are, oppressing poor Padma Lakshmi. But I didn't think she did a great job acting, but I mean, she cut off most of her outfit. She got nice and wet. I mean, she rolled around in the water, is what I mean by that, making that outfit even more revealing. And it was good fun.
Yeah, you know, I gotta give this at least a 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm going to be generous. I'm so grateful that I'm going to give this a 6. It's a 6
yeah,
because
I think there's no reason not to.
it shares DNA with better episodes. That we've seen this done too many times before to truly give it anything higher. But you know what? Some action. The episode built around the pretty girl. Maybe they're trying to save up their money by having them on this planet for a week, and then like we're going to get a space battle out of it. You know, usually Enterprise was pretty good with the resource allocation. We're not going to have like a whole bunch of episodes like this in a row. I wouldn't think.
No, we don't. No, although next week is Catwalk, where they have to huddle inside the nacelle to get through a solar storm or something.
I'm looking forward to rewatching all the episodes of Enterprise, and I feel like getting through Deep Space Nine to get to it is going to be something that will teach me a lot about Star Trek, but I may not enjoy all of it. Voyager so far it's been a little dumb sometimes, but it's not too bad. They're the weirdest individual crew out of all of them, though.
Arlo was a very abrupt ending. You might have missed it.
Yeah, no, I understand what goes on, but I'm just the members of the crew on the Enterprise they are weird people. On Voyager rather, every single one of them is just a weirdo. They would be the weirdest person
Admiral,
on any
Captain,
ship.
just take it for a minute. I'll be right back.
Sure, Captain Fandom Nerd. It is a pleasure to come across you again here on the interwebs. How has your week been going?
Actually, it's been going well. What about yourself?
I traveled to Western New Jersey. I had like the commute from hell. It took me 8 hours, like 6 hours to go, and 90 minutes into New Jersey. There's something going on with like transportation. I don't know. Then whatever. It was fairly pleasant. Anytime I have to pass on the outskirts of Philadelphia, I appreciate that my city is a hell of a lot better. I just feel better about where I live. But you know.
So did you go to Philadelphia or New Jersey?
I went to New Jersey, but it was supposed to be by way of Philadelphia because that part of New Jersey is closer to Philadelphia than any other individual spot. It's like the Trenton area. But everyone has an accent there where they sound like Barney Rubble. Like Barney Rubble, like I was surprised. My friend's neighbor was talking to him about like mulching the lawn, and he got into it for like 11 minutes. And I just stood there like having no context because, you know, where I come from, your lawn is made of concrete. And so they're talking about this thing, grass or something like that. I saw it in a museum once, but they're talking about this something called mulch and land scrapers and a land scraping crew. It's 21st century Earth is not my strong point, but they all did sound like Barney Rubble talking about it.
Well, I know that Bert has grass out in his backyard.
Well, he's in I think the other side of Queens than me, where it gets progressively more like Long Island like as you go away. My part of Queens, I'm probably closer to Manhattan than some part. I'm closer to Midtown than a lot of Manhattan is.
Mm-hmm.
Just by virtue of being so far west in Queens. But I don't know. It's a great location to be. We just had one of the greatest tacos anyone could ever make with plenty of extra guacamole. And that's kind of one of the greatest things here. It's voted the borough with the most and best, the most affordable food and takeout.
Is it allowed to have tacos on Wednesday? I thought that was a Tuesday thing.
Tacos any day of the week.
Tacos any. My replicator at my apartment has been stuck on taco for a few days. That's my excuse. Although I might have to adjust it for something like Synth the Crack for watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds later. No offense.
I thought you would be making synthahol.
Strange New Worlds. It's not actually Star Trek. Its effects are much like real Star Trek. It's much like real Star Trek, but its effects are easily dismissed.
Yes. Synthotrek.
Synthotrek. Yeah, it's much like regular Star Trek, but its effects are easily dismissed. Except the replicator to Star Trek, and I got Strange New World season 2.
Arlo Albanese says Taco Bell coming to Blackpool, UK soon. Is that where you are, Carlo?
Don't go there for breakfast. Pete Davidson has no soul for taking that commercial contract that he would tell people to eat Taco Bell for breakfast. What he's really saying is you can be sick to your stomach by coffee break time.
I tried Taco Bell breakfast. It is not their greatest.
Is it edible?
Meal. You know, it was a long time ago. At the time, it was barely
the amount of time it's been since you've gone back says it all, right?
Right. I mean, yeah, I haven't reordered.
Let's put it this way. Back then, it was actually better.
I think it was better.
When they put the sand in it, yeah, you know, that's why I always keep a handful of sand around the apartment to throw onto my tacos. Remind me of that classic Taco Bell when it was made the way it was meant to be made, you know, with sand in it. What? Taco Bell was better when it had sand in it. I don't know why. It just was. Put the sand back in Taco Bell.
I remember a time when I think you could get 2 tacos for $1.
Yep.
On special.
Yeah, now it's $3 per taco, but you know what? That's still cheaper than most meals. You know, you can get it in well under $10 with a Coke and a tip.
Yeah.
Because when you go to the taco truck, that tip is kind of like a little more important. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you got it.
You got to give them the buck. Yeah, yeah. But you know what? Some of the best food. Bird can verify this, but Queens consistently voted the best and most options for food and restaurants in New York City.
Oh yeah, I would say that's probably true. Although, once again, the best of the best, I still have to say, is in Brooklyn.
You know what? People from Brooklyn have this preference to Brooklyn, and I just have to let it go. But I want to say, since you're going to be a Brooklyn supremacist on this one, Aquafina is not from Queens, despite playing Nora from Queens. That annoying scuttlebutt singer is from Brooklyn. And I mean, if Brooklyn's so great, how come it can't hold on to a baseball team?
Hey, the Dodgers are coming back one day.
You know what? I do own a Brooklyn Dodger hat, and I do enjoy wearing it. And I feel kind of like if Cisco lived in Queens, he would have a Brooklyn Dodger hat too, and a New York Giants baseball team hat.
Yeah.
Do you like the Yankees or the Mets, BOP, or do you just baseball doesn't only exists in one episode of Star Trek?
When I was a baseball fan, it was Yankees.
I go with the Yankees myself.
Sometime around, I don't know, 2010, I kind of gave up on baseball.
Well, you know what? Because it's a good timeout, I'm just going to officially say right now, if you want to go to a Met game sometime before the end of the year, you know what? Like, reasonable tickets on me.
Oh, well, I can't get out of the house, though, unfortunately.
I didn't know your level of mobility, but I wanted to offer.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I don't. If I get out of the house, it's just in the very local vicinity, whatever I can wheelchair to. You know.
That's a bummer, but may I ask a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever been surrounded by people so dumb that you wanted to prefab up a Pike-like wheelchair so that you could just use a yes and no button to fend off their questions and make them talk to us?
No, I guess not. I try to stay away from stupid people.
But yet you let me on the stream. I got it.
No, it's you've passed the minimal intelligence test.
Well, I think I justified my view on Deep Space Nine is just, kind of my own Star Trek eccentricity, and I still think it's a really good show and good Star Trek.
Well, it's the thing. I don't hold it against people's intelligence to not like a show.
Well, if I were to turn around and say Picard season 3 was a gift from Mr. Metalis that we all underappreciated because it was prime Star Trek, at that point, I would hope that you would just phase me. That you would just phase me.
I would be merciful.
Yeah, you could fully delete me, or you could take me to a Federation rehabilitation center. But if I start saying things like that, please, don't, Captain Fandom Nerd.
Don't worry.
Beam
we
over
would
to my place.
vaporize you, even though it would set off the alarm.
I would wake up in that dentist chair from Dagger of the Mind. Ooh, you're going to stop watching New Trek, Admiral.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit, but hey,
think about how hot Noel was in that episode. What was it, Ensign Barrows?
I meant the New Trek comment.
Oh, yeah. Oh God. Well, I mean, all we've done is take away Captain Kirk's accomplishments and make a fool of the people like Spence. This Spock is just an absolute idiot.
I would agree. I
am more cynic than this Spock.
When is your physical therapy?
It's at 6 p.m. So
okay.
Yeah, I gotta end soon to get ready. Kronos, the panel is ignoring us. I'm not ignoring you, Kronos. I'm not ignoring you. You and Carlo Albanese are reading.
Kronos, you likes Picard season 3? Okay. It's a little bit shocking, but okay.
Sometimes you can't trust what Kronos says. He is technically a troll.
I think we all know exactly how I feel about that one. I don't even need to comment. Strange New Worlds, I'm sure this is the series where they turn it around. I'm sure we won't have the same old problems showing up right away. I predict an event-free episode 1. That seems to be the new way to do this.
I suspect that, remember, for those who don't know, all of season 1 of Strange New Worlds is free on YouTube because they want people to watch season 2. But I imagine they're going to give away episode 1 for free as well. So,
I wonder if on commercial tier I still have to watch commercials in the premiere of their premiere show. You'd figure they'd blow that off, right? They really want people to watch that. They don't want to
really want to give away commercials too. So.
Most of their commercials are for other Paramount shows.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. Even if you pay for the commercial free, they still start each one with a commercial for another Paramount show.
And you cannot cast it to another device until that weird upfront commercial is done 30 seconds after you start. And I think you could skip it in 10, but it's inconvenient because you can't begin casting it until you get into the actual broadcast.
Welcome back, Captain.
Thank you. Sorry about that. My internet went.
Check your Heisenberg couplings.
I will have to check that.
No.
Maybe purge the pattern buffers.
Purge the pattern buffers and check the Heisenberg compensator. Yes.
Exactly.
What were your thoughts on the episode, Captain?
Actually, if I at the time I would have got but no, it was not bad. It was quite. I would give it a 6. I'll go with.
All right. You know what? It's 6 for effort. The worst thing you could say about this episode is we've seen it all done before. Maybe a little better. It was a derivative episode, but it was a derivative of other Star Trek stories that we all like.
I agree.
And lovingly done rather than like scoffingly and mockingly done. This was a lovingly done homage. If you want to say they drifted off the moorings or whatever, this show is open to some criticism. I can't defend it, tooth and nail the way I would some other shows. But I do like Enterprise. I do think it's good Star Trek, and I do think it's a lot of fun most of the time. And this week, Star Trek, one of the things, the first thing on my list is episodic. The second thing is about an hour, that it be good enough for regular TV, and it was. That the Federation be good, and it was. That there should be no gender hate. I would call this one gender tension. They went to a planet. I mean, that's a Star Trek-y thing right there. We cared about just one person. That was our stakes, was Trip and this alien. It was fun. It visualized scientific ideas like cryogenic freezing, right? There was no anti-science in this that was slapping us around. Their tech level was above ours, and the crew was pretty moral. So to me, those are all the elements that have to go in there to qualify for Star Trek. And then we had enough friendship, loyalty, and sacrifice on the final frontier with the crew's dedication to help out and find him that, maybe it's not a 10, but it's like a 6.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you, Bird.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Admiral, any last thoughts before we get going?
No, I just thank you, and everybody, please, if you have not, check out Saving Star Trek. I'm going to be documenting Strange New Worlds. I watch it so that you don't have to. And I would.
Do you have a link to put in or anything?
I thought I did, but I don't. It doesn't matter. My channel name is my name, Admiral Teague, Teag. Just go ahead and do it. We can live without it.
You weren't a moderator before, but you are now. So if you put in a link, it will work.
Give me 1 second, I'll do it. And thank you. I'm not worthy.
Well, it's not a very high bar.
Don't worry, it will be rescinded.
Don't feel. Anybody who comes back generally gets to be a moderator. You're free to put in links to you, your friends, whatever, anybody in the community.
Let me do that.
Just not actual spam.
Let me do that one more time, just with my link labeled, because I messed up the way I did it. But thank you, Bird of Prey, and it's a pleasure to join you. People have said Bird of Prey 5 knows more about Star Trek than me, and I'm always the first person to say, "Well, yeah, he does," and that's why you should listen to the show, because I do. Exactly. It's the next thing I say, and you can watch his show and mine without creating
for the
any
competition, you should go Saturday nights on John DeMarco's channel for Jep Nerdy, where it is a Star Trek trivia competition.
Oh, I like that idea. And you know what? It's not a competition, but it's nice to have guys like you who hold a high bar and are also just very fair and nice to other people. You have no agenda except to enjoy Star Trek. And that's part, to me, of saving Star Trek. We need to celebrate the good Star Trek that we had, because this is, as has been said by greater intellects than mine, this is our modern myths. They're worth preserving and fighting for. And maybe we have to draw the line at the very most mediocre episode of Enterprise and say, this is still Star Trek. It could have been better, but it was still Star Trek. They had appropriate music helping them out. They did things to make the episode more interesting when they realized it wasn't the greatest, like making the pretty girl cut her clothes off. I appreciated that effort. I'm sorry. To me, these people tried harder than New Trekkers. New Trek writers.
This is Bird of Prey. Have you seen anything Stargate? Of course I have, Kronos. I've seen all of SG-1, Atlantis, the movies, and even Stargate Universe.
I breathed in the forest fire smoke deeply, so I'm going to go right out there and say I always love Stargate because I like Roland Emmerich movies.
And of course, the movie, yes.
And I felt that way before the forest fire and New York turned to Mars. So Roland Emmerich movies can sometimes just be fun.
Arlo Albanese says, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Bird will Prey 5 might eat the out-of-date spam. Mom will pray, save for us. Maybe, but unlikely, Arlo.
Quite unlikely.
Good to hear, says Kronos. Carlos says, Star Trek is our hearts and not what's on TV. The headcanon, it's the headcanon that counts. I agree.
your headcanon should probably pass the smell test, but yes. Right? It can't be outright. But my headcanon is that Princess Leia gets blown out in airlock and uses the Force to pull herself back in with no previous setup. Like, you can't justify that with anything in universe. Your headcanon has to, like, I don't know.
Anyway,
everyone's always right about their own opinion, but
with that, though, guys, I got to get ready for physical therapy.
Best
So
of
we're going
luck.
to call it here.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you,
me.
Admiral, for coming up. Thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody in the chat and watching. It's Wednesday, so Friday will be another Bed Life. And, well, actually, tomorrow, if all goes well, at some point, I will release my review sometime during the day for Strange New Worlds, Season 2, Episode 1.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing some stuff to do with that. I think probably tomorrow afternoon will be my live watch through, where my first reaction, where I don't really do anything but watch it. Everyone's, as Lando Calrissian would say, all are invited, of course. Captain Fandom Nerd's been there a few times. We managed to milk fun out of this strange new Star Trek.
Absolutely. Thank you again,
That's
Bert.
good. Very good way to get fun out of it, get something out of it of value. And thank you, Carlo. Happy Flag Day.
Yeah,
Happy
June
Flag Day.
14th. I look forward to it every year.
Okay, guys. Qapla All panel out.